what I would say is if I had a technical director like any on my side, I'd be pretty fed up with it, because if she's manipulating me rather than working for me, I don't think I'd be over amused by that.
There's no manipulation. It's all open communication. But ultimately, it benefits me.
Yeah, but what you're saying, with respect, what you're saying is you've placed a phone call into your rival, or you've manufactured a situation with a rival to create an outcome.
It's not manufacturing, it's communication, Simon. So I'm saying to my
Well, it
my
is.
rival,
you're getting somebody to bid for something. You're getting somebody to bid for something that you don't want them to, that doesn't really want to buy it, to engineer a commercial outcome for you. That's precisely what it is, Annie. Call it what it is.
No,
I don't dispute the fact that it might happen in very rare instances, and I never saw it in many, many transfer deals that I did, and I was very close to transfer deals. And when you're throwing somebody £250,000 with due respect, there's less focus on that transaction than when you're spending £90 million. So people will be very focused on it. Owner, chief executive, they'll want to understand, as I've said in previous parts of this discussion when you haven't been on the line, the two biggest commodities in football are gossip and finances. And with them becomes a lot of invested interest. So I don't think you guys as technical directors at that quantum just get a free-for-all and your own hand to go and negotiate and engineer situations, because what you have said is that it would be likely that a situation has manifested itself where a situation has been engineered for Man City to bid to produce an outcome for Arsenal to get the player they want. That's manipulation by its very definition.
Well, I think what I'm referring to, and again, if I've not articulated it in that way, and that's the way it's been perceived, that's my fault. But ultimately, what I'm talking about is communication. I had communication with clubs about the level they were going to bid anyway on these players, and that helped me then go back and say, right, we're going to have to decide what we're going to do. So those clubs were going to bid anyway. They're all legitimate, genuine bids.
But that makes no sense, Annie. It makes no sense in the commercial reality of the hard world. If I'm your competitor, the last thing I'm going to do is give you any indication of what I'm prepared to do to get a deal done. I'm going to tell you precisely the counter-polar opposite of what I'm prepared to do.
Well, that's not my experience.
Yeah, but with respect, your experience is at a far lower level of economics. So
I've accepted that. I've accepted that it's a far lower level. But at the end of the day, the tactics and the communication is what I'm referring to. And in my experience, I communicated with my rivals. Now, again, in men's football, that might be very different. But I'm assuming that, at the higher the level of hundreds of millions of pounds is being exchanged here, at hundreds of millions of pounds, the idea that clubs don't communicate, I think is naive. I think they do communicate. And that's all I'm suggesting.